I'm Mindy Morris, the owner of Start With Self, and today I'm going to help you make emotions into allies. Many people are not comfortable with emotions, either the identification of them or feeling them, but I really encourage you to treat them as clues and dig deeper, sit with them, see what they have to say. So today, I'm going to take you through the 6 primary emotions, give you some language for the scale of how they show up, and you can explain how you feel to others. And also, I'm going to tell you or encourage you to think about how they show up in your life, when, and how your body reacts to that emotion. Ready? Most people that know me know how much I love Disney and Pixar, and I really appreciate how Inside Out had the research-based approach to emotions. So I used them as my fan art, if you will, to help explain these emotions and help you express yourself more appropriately after you reflect and identify what you're feeling. The first emotion that we're going to talk about today is joy. Joy can sound like yay. When you feel joy, it's because something good is happening. You can feel euphoric, excited, optimistic, proud, cheerful, happy, content, peaceful, jubilant, eager, triumphant, playful, jovial, or serene. So how does joy show up in your body? Usually you're smiling, your heart rate might be up, you might be peaceful if it's serene. Eye contact is easy to have, you're open, engaged, curious, and you're having a really good time. You're not defensive. So when are you joyful? Think about the last time you felt it, and then go do that on purpose if you can. The next emotion is sadness. You can be quiet, you can cry, you can be depressed, lonely, bored, ashamed, feel inferior, vulnerable, depressed. When do you feel sad? If it's remembering something good that can't happen anymore because of circumstances, you might feel nostalgic. That kind of sadness is very beneficial. How does sadness show up in your body? Does it feel like a weight? Does it feel lonely? Do you feel gloomy? Think about those times that make you sad, the movies or commercials that make you cry, and then honor those moments. Every emotion has a meaning. The next emotion is surprise. It's kind of like Velma from Scooby-Doo when she says, "Jinkies!" You are shocked, bewildered, overwhelmed, confused. Something happened that overloads your senses. Some people make themselves surprised on purpose, like when they go into Halloween haunted houses. And sometimes it can be a car pulling out in front of you. Sometimes it can be when you drop something. So when was the last time that you were surprised? Did you perceive it as good or bad? How did it show up in your body? Your fear response likely kicked in, but otherwise, the reaction could be joy, heart pounding, a gasp. The next emotion is fear. It can be eek, ah! It can just be a response of punching someone or running away. This fear is a survival instinct. It's very helpful. This is where the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn response comes from because it wants you to stay safe. Understand why you're afraid, terrified, mortified, bewildered, perplexed, and how you got there, if it's a valid fear or an irrational fear, and then decide if your behavior supports being afraid and it was appropriate, or if there's some healing that you might need to do. Disgust is our next helpful emotion. It can be disgust from food, like something that smells very bad. Death has a very distinctive smell. Some people are disgusted by sex. Some people are disgusted by diseases or sicknesses or vomit or a baby's diarrhea. So disgust can be helpful. There is slightly unhelpful disgust as well. Like if you are disgusted by a group of people or do the us versus them bias or prejudice behaviors, you might want to kind of peel that back a little bit and see what kind of conscious or unconscious biases you're acting upon. Anger is the last emotion that we're going to talk about that will give you clues. This is usually when people say an explicative or a bad word, as we say. It can be when you're frustrated, irritable, envious, jealous, hateful, judgmental, those kinds of things. Anger can be very helpful in letting you know if a boundary was crossed or if you feel unsafe or betrayed or somebody hurt you in some way. Understand when you feel angry and how it shows up in your body. Do your shoulders tense up? Do you get red, flushed? Does your heart rate pound? Are you able to think logically? So think about the last time you felt anger and how your body felt when you had that anger response. And then acknowledge if the response that you had, verbally or non-verbally, was appropriate or not, and make a decision for what to do for next time. Thank you so much for spending some time with me talking about emotional expression, how to identify what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, how it's showing up in your body, and exploring some ways to increase your vocabulary and ways to express yourself appropriately.